Alright, good afternoon everyone. It's been a little while since I made a video, and I just wanted to get a chance to take a look at some of the watches that I am currently sitting on. I guess to catch everyone up to where I was, this watch right here, the Helson Shark Diver, I got that in February last year, and I've worn it exclusively until about a week ago, when this little beauty came in. Let's see if I can get, there we go. This is the Smiths Everest Expedition PRS-25EXP. So for a while now, I've been ever since I had my Rolex Explorer 2, I realized I really like Rolex and their kind of simple do everything look, but I wasn't a fan of that watch. 40mm Rolex was just a little big for me for a go everywhere, do anything watch. And so I sold it. Definitely have a regret there because it's gained value by almost double since I had it 4 or 5 years ago. But so now that I've had this Helson for about a year, I was like, okay, it's time to see about maybe getting a 36mm watch for everyday use. And so my plan was to try this and the regular Smiths Everest just to see which, if that would satisfy the itch, and sure enough it hasn't, but more about that later. So we'll do a quick little chat about this watch. It's a phenomenal watch. It comes in this Timefactors red pill that is definitely inspired by Omega's service cases that they ship their watches back from service in. And it comes with, I'll unzip this real quick, a cloth. I'm sure all of you who are watching this have probably seen other videos if you're interested, but it comes with a nice little cloth and a vintage style leather strap. It's an okay strap. I would say it might last for a month or two of really heavy use, but it also comes with a small booklet that goes over the watch and its specifications, some general care, and the information about the watch. So the watch itself, this is a 36mm watch. 36mm in width. It's I'll use the provided measurements since Eddie's actually usually pretty good about providing accurate measurements for his watches. But it is 43.5mm lug to lug, which is almost a dead ringer. This is a side model, but the main Everest Expedition, or the main Smiths Everest, is inspired by the 1016 Explorer. And 43.5mm lug to lug is almost exactly what the 1016 and I think the 11470 both have for a case lug to lug. I think they're 43.6. It's 11.3 thick, including the crystal, which is domed a little bit, but perfect size for everyday wear there. It is 20mm lugs, in keeping with a classic Rolex Oyster style case, and has 100 meters of water resistance and 4,800 amp meters of anti-magnetic resistance. It's got a riveted bracelet, or faux riveted, with screw adjustment. A simple case back. You'll have to forgive this thing. It tracks fingerprints like absolutely nothing else. And a simple clasp. Let's get this in focus. With a polished side and a brushed middle. It is machined and has 3 micro adjusts. Has a nice click. It's definitely a nice compromise of having a clasp that looks vintage but has some modern touches. Certainly everyone would like micro adjusts, but I think it's a good compromise for how small, because this tapers to 16mm like a traditional oyster bracelet. And it has thermally blued hands. Let's get this out of the way so you can see. There we go. thermally blued hands that look pretty good. Screw down craft, I haven't mentioned that already, which is pretty good. I feel like many people who try to do Rolex oyster cases often neglect the fact that Rolex twin lock crowns are actually pretty tall. They're very thin, so they wouldn't stick out as far as this, but they're almost as tall as the case usually. So it's a little fiddly to get the crown back in, but it's not bad, and certainly not a terrible take on an oyster crown. But red seconds hand. The font is actually blue on the dial. It's the same color as the hands. It's a nice look. Smiths Deluxe Everest Expedition 24 jewels. This is running the Miyota 9039, so the no date version of the 9015. Pretty accurate. This one in particular has been running about 7 seconds a day, positive. So not amazing, but I mean for a $300 or $400 watch, it's not bad. Yeah, so general impressions, I wore it for a few days just to see, and it's not for me, mostly because, as everyone who watches me knows, I'm a sucker for lume. To me, a watch absolutely has to have usable lume. I should be able to walk into any room from any other place and be able to read the watch. All night is a bonus, but really for me it just needs to be legible when I walk from a bright area to a dark area, and this one's not really. If you've walked in from the sun, it's okay, but if you've just been like working in an office and you go into a dark closet, or if you're walking outside after being inside at night, not really great. It's just because the hands are okay. They're a little thin to have good lume application, but really the lumed Arabics are filled too thinly to have any appreciable lume. You can charge it up and it's okay and it looks great, but it's not amazing for that. So it's a super classy piece. The dial is definitely like an eggshell cream kind of a thing with a step in it to get that, the text is in a lower area than the numerals. And so, to my mind, all in all, it's really a pretty phenomenal watch. It's just for me, it's not a good one because really I'm looking for something that's as classy and effortless as a Rolex, either Oyster Perpetual or Explorer or anything in that 36mm range. And I would prefer something that has a little bit of lume, which the Chromolite equipped Rolexes are pretty good for that. So that's about all I have to say about this watch. It's a pretty phenomenal little piece for the money. If you can get them, they're 325 pounds. If you can get them when Timefactors does their little thing, like they once a quarter they'll open up their website for like half an hour, and if you can get in and get an order in on that Sunday, then you'll get the watch for about $450 shipped, we'll say, to the US. But if you can't, it seems like they're trending for around 500 on the secondary market for that little bit of premium for those who got in and got the watch. So to me, this is a killer watch for $500. It's really hard to get a 36mm sports watch, and so that to me, that's a no-brainer. If you want a 36mm watch, this is the one to get for sure. This or the black dial. I think this is probably a little bit dressier and nicer, and the black dial is a little bit more functional. The lume's probably gonna be better. That one comes in for me tomorrow, so I'll wear it for a couple days and give my impressions. But as it is, this one's gonna be going out the door, so I wanted to do a quick video on it and talk about it, since there's a few videos on YouTube, but not a ton. But definitely suggest checking it out if you're in the market for a 36mm everyday kind of watch. It looks great. It dresses up nicely with leather. It dresses down with the bracelet or on a NATO, and with the drilled lugs, it's even easier to change stuff. So hope everyone enjoyed and has a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next video.